Welcome. Hello, hello. December's YouTube live, Facebook live stream, I think LinkedIn live stream. Welcome everyone, wherever you are. This is about planning for 2026. So the poll that I had on YouTube was, let's get back to it. What will help you stay strong enough to support your child in 2026? And this is a really important aspect to the whole autism journey. It's something that I've learned in many ways what not to do. So hopefully I can teach you from some of the things that I made mistakes on. And the poll was, okay, what are you interested? And it's a three-way tie, which was really cool to see. So better sleep, energy, and stress regulation got 33% of the votes. A clear framework, so I'm not chasing everything, got again 33%, right? And then feeling less alone and more supportive got the other 33%. So we can definitely talk about how to stay strong because it's really important because this journey is not something that just changes in a day or a week, right? This is something that you really have to have a lot of thought into it, a lot of strategy. You have to take action. So this is one of those like marathon type events in your life. And I'm sure you've had more than just autism, right? And you have to really take care of yourself, which is in many ways sometimes exactly what you don't want to do because you just want to focus on taking action and doing things. But if you don't care for yourself, you don't have the energy to do that. And you're not having fun. So that's something that I really learned about um, with having fun and enjoying this parenting journey that you're on, even though this might not be what you had expected or what you wanted, what you signed up for. So you might get into that kind of frustration of this is not what I wanted, and then really not have an enjoyable time, which is certainly unfortunate because this is your child's childhood and this is your parenting journey. So really making the most of it is important. So with sleep, um, that has become a really personal topic for me. So my sleep lately has just been it's been horrific. And then I go through periods where, like a week or so, it's really great. And I didn't bring it up with me, but I did get the Muse. They sent it to me. I did a product review on it. And I was just kind of like playing around, and I've always wanted to get a Muse. So when it was sent to me, I was like, "Oh, cool, something I actually want." And I've been using it to track my sleep now, and I actually have a 90-day challenge to myself if I can get 80 sleep score, an average of 80 sleep score for a week, so 7 days in a row, and I've been using the Muse data to really understand what's going on with my sleep. So it's something that I can do because my daughter is sleeping, right? So if you're in the beginning part of the journey where your child is not sleeping, it's very hard for you to focus on your sleep because when they're awake, you're awake. And I know how that goes. So caring for yourself increases and kind of changes as your child gets better. So it's something definitely to keep in mind. So now she's sleeping. So when I'm not sleeping, it just kind of hurts even more because I remember all those nights where I could sleep, but she couldn't sleep. And now it's like, wait, she's sleeping and I can't sleep. This is not fair. So for 2026, like that is my personal goal. So I am happy to share all the different things that I learned about sleep, what works, what doesn't, my whole process. So sleep is foundational. It's right. So like you could just get into sleep a little bit, right? You have deep sleep, and that really helps the body restore. So if you're going through life and you're like, "Oh, okay, my back hurts and my knee hurts," and like you have a lot of these physical complaints, then priority wise for sleep, like yes, you just want to get sleep, but there's all different kinds of sleep. So deep sleep is what is really impacts the overall physical body. So that's where your physical body is really getting repaired. You can think of it along that way. So that's deep sleep. Then you have REM sleep. So if you're walking around and you kind of can't remember things, or you can't make decisions as quickly as you used to, or you just don't feel as sharp, so one of the things to look at is REM sleep. So REM sleep is really what helps the brain kind of repair, reorganize, all of those kinds of things. So sleep is definitely needed, but when you really get into like the technicalities of sleep, it's very specific. So if you watch any of my shorts that where I'm challenging myself, this 90-day challenge, like, there are times where I got sleep, my body's feeling great, but my mind is not. It's because the REM sleep wasn't quality sleep. And the frustrating thing is the REM sleep, getting the REM sleep is you need that long, consistent block of sleep. So I feel it's easier to get deep sleep, at least for me, it's been easier to get deep sleep. Once I kind of like trained myself to get like fall asleep fast and go deep, right? So I worked on that habit. And I have to say, years ago, like a decade ago, I had to train myself to sleep very lightly so that if anything was happening with my daughter, then I could hear it. So I literally trained myself to sleep very light so that I could always kind of protect her. If something was going wrong, I would have hated, oh my gosh, I slept through it. That is not good. So I literally trained myself in the beginning of this autism journey to sleep light so that I could be woken up easily. And now it's the reverse, right? So now I have to train myself, all right, sleep deeply and get that solid consistent amount of sleep so that I could progress into the REM sleep. So sleep gets certainly very technical, and there's lots of different supplements, but there's also lots of reasons why someone is not getting good sleep. So you can come with me on my journey, on my sleep journey, and I'm happy to share all the things that I have learned and will continue to learn because I'm determined, even if I don't do it in 90 days. I really want that consistent, really good nights of sleep, and there's a lot that goes into it. It's not so simple. So if any parent is here saying, "Oh, I just want sleep," right? There's a lot of different reasons as to why it might be challenging if you got your child to sleep, right? So that's the important part. So that is the sleep part. Energy and stress regulation. Well, first off, like when you get sleep, everything becomes easier. So you get more energy and you don't have to, take things to give you energy. Stress is just, I don't wanna say it's non-existent, but it's manageable. So what I've noticed is when I don't get good sleep, and I know like if I get like kind of like 58 or below of sleep scores, then the next day I'm, like, super negative. So, it's not even stress, I can't even handle that little talking voice in your head that is critical and everything. That voice somehow gets really loud when I don't sleep. So, sleep really is that foundational thing, and that's why it's so important when you're on this autism journey. That's one of the first things you work on for your child. So you really wanna make sure that they're getting sleep so that you could compound all those good things in sleep for them, and then you're getting sleep. So I definitely will be talking about sleep a bit more as 2026 goes on because I'm determined, 100% determined to get good sleep consistently. Um, so stress, there's so much that goes into stress management, and you start off small with the small habits of, okay, let me take a walk. I only have like 5-10 minutes. Let me start there. Let me meditate. Okay, can you meditate in 5 minutes and have it be impactful? Yeah, completely. I wouldn't start with trying to meditate for an hour or yoga. I do yoga Monday through Fridays in the morning. I only do 10 minutes. And I'm totally okay with doing 10 minutes because it's that consistency. I've seen changes in, flexibility and balance and just setting my day right, and I don't feel like I have to do an hour because I don't have time to do an hour. I don't have time to do 30 minutes. Let's be realistic. I have like 10 minutes. So picking these habits that are impactful, but also manageable is really important for um, just overall stress management. So we can certainly dive into that a bit deeper as to different things to do within that 5-10 minutes, right? We could scroll for 5-10 minutes, but that typically doesn't help us feel better afterwards. So it's all about doing things that really are impactful afterwards. So that's really the aspect for stress management. And it takes dedication to yourself to make the time. And that's the important part to really notice is how are you a better parent when you're well rested, when you're, de-stressing yourself and things like that. Um, I know that was one of the driving factors for me when I started getting really serious about certain aspects of self-care. It's because I didn't like the reflection of the parent I was, right? And, my daughter's doing different things and I'm just like, still grouchy. It's like I didn't work this hard to be a grouch. So, and to not enjoy my daughter when she's actually, wanting to share different things. So, that's a really important part of this autism journey because we can get so stuck in just negative aspects and we can get so stuck in our habits when there was a reason to be in crisis mode. So, as you shift out of crisis mode, as you take action and resolve different health issues for your child, you really have to change yourself. You really have to say, okay, what kind of habits do I have? You might have a habit where you wake up every morning and just be like, oh man, what is he going to get into today? Ah, right? But that has to change as your child changes, as you take more action on what is going to be meaningful in their overall health. So these are all important things to think about it. And it really doesn't get the attention that it deserves because this is such a tough journey and so many people don't make it very far. So the further you want to go, the more care you want to put in yourself so that you can go further. It's a really important aspect to do. Okay. So that is better sleep, energy, and stress regulation. We'll definitely talk about that more and more in 2026. A clear framework so that you're not chasing everything. Okay, so that was the other thing that got quite a few votes. And let's just look at this. So this is the Navigating Autism Matrix. And this is a clear framework. This is what you want to make sure you focus on. Yeah, certainly feel free to ask questions. Let me take that banner away. All right. So now I'm totally blocked. But so this is the Navigating Autism Matrix, and these are the categories that you as a parent need and want to focus on for your child, right? This when parents say, "Oh, something fell through the cracks. I I didn't know that I this was meaningful or important or things like that." Um, This is what will keep you guided, and this is what we work on in the Navigating Autism platform. So I can say for myself, I did not want to start with diet. Not at all. Like diet was just like, oh, come on. I did it, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't really where I wanted to start. And so that's why the Navigating Autism Matrix is a circle. You start where you think you will be successful, where you think, okay, I can do that. Right. So if you're looking at this and you're like, oh, my child's diet is terrible. They're just eating chicken nuggets and cereal and pretzels and potato chips, right? Whatever, then don't start with diet. Don't try and make yourself more miserable. That is not the goal of autism, the way we look at it, the way we spell it, right? So you might be like, all right, you know what? Healthcare team, I can start there. Is there a functional medicine test we should do so we can figure out which doctor would be the most important to work with? Should I start working with conventional medicine doctors? Like do what you think you will be successful in. So that is how you have a framework, and you take action. That's why there's steps there. So you can see the numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, right? There's levels. So don't feel like you have to be perfect and do everything all at once, because that is just impossible, right? You you can't. It's just not possible to do everything you need to do in diet in one full shot, and I don't know, and still be a happy human, right? And you can't make all those changes so quickly. They're stepwise. So you start where you think you're going to be successful, and then you continue going, and you build that synergy, right? That's the beauty of the Navigating Autism Matrix is you're taking action in these different categories, and then synergy is created, and before you know it, things are getting better, which you didn't even try to get better, right? That's the whole methodology for taking action in a category that you think you will be successful in and that you want to do, and then starting to see how that really ripples all throughout, which then makes it easier to take more action. And you could see, so having a framework, I definitely will talk about more in 2026, the framework and what are we focusing on and how that builds synergy. You can't really go at autism in a linear fashion. It doesn't really work like that, and everything is all connected. So we'll definitely talk more and more about the framework in 2026. And then what was the last thing? Feeling less alone and more supported. Well, come here. I love troubleshooting problems that parents have as to, what's really going on, what test should I do, why is this happening? My child is behaving this way. What does it mean? How can I really understand? So if you want to feel more supported and feel less alone, then really lean into this community. Comment on the videos that I have. Other parents comment as well. Come to the YouTube lives, the Facebook lives, all of these live streams. Interact with me. I'm here. I've had a YouTube channel now for over 10 years. So there's lots of information on the YouTube channel. But for the community and feeling less alone, then you can also consider joining the Navigating Autism platform, because that is the essence of why we have that. It's so that you don't feel alone. We have Shoshana is a great health coach, and she really helps parents understand different barriers and how do you get through. She's a phenomenal coach. She has a master's in coaching. She is very knowledgeable, very kind. The parents really enjoy interacting with her, because it's how do you overcome a lot of these barriers, and you can feel alone, right? So group coaching is important. And some of these aspects you might be like, whoa, wait a second, group coaching and all of this. And There's a lot of support that we have built into the Navigating Autism platform just because I've been through it. I understand this entire journey, and I'm someone who's on that other side, right? Who's now wearing a muse every night, trying to figure out, all right, how do I make sure I'm getting the sleep that I want? Because I have that time to really focus on my sleep and doing things like that. Um, so I want to help support parents as much as possible so they can get to that point where I am at and even further than me. I definitely have worked with parents who much further than me. So it's important to work with someone who knows how to get to where you want to go. And if you're feeling like you need more support and you feel like you're alone, then really look into working with us on the platform because that's what we built. We want to support you. We want to give you the scientific information that actually makes a difference and really help you along this journey. And it's something that takes time, and you need supportive people around you. It's really important. So I certainly don't want anyone to feel lonely because is this can be, let me not say it is, it can be a very lonely experience. Um, but it doesn't have to be. You are definitely gonna maybe look at other kids and be like, oh, my kid's not doing that, right? And then it's so easy to project the current present onto your future for like 20 years, right? And say, oh my gosh, my child's never going to be able to do X, Y, Z, and then really stress yourself out. So don't do that. Learn from me. Don't do that. It doesn't help at all whatsoever. And it's not a representative of the actual future. It's just a thought. It's a thought you keep having, and it's a thought that might feel very real, but it doesn't have to be your future. So without any questions, actually, let me just take a little sip of tea. If you have any questions, certainly put them in the chat or in the comments. I think chat is Zoom, comments are streams. And yeah, so 2026, I will definitely make sure to incorporate those topics into more and more of the work that I do and what I share on social media. Um, uh, yeah, let's see. I mean, there's different hobbies that I've been able to get. And this is I could say sometimes I think, "Oh, okay, what do I wanna do with my time? How do I want to manage my stress?" and things like that. So, if any other parents are wondering if you'll ever get back to that place, you certainly can. You most certainly can. I do open water swimming. That is something I'm surprised at how much I like it because I've said this before. I pretty much have a fear of swimming in natural bodies of water. I don't like seaweed touching me. I don't like seeing fish underneath me. I started thinking about sharks, even if I'm in a lake. But it's definitely fun to grow as your child grows and as they get hobbies and they're doing things on their own. It's definitely important. So, Jeanette. Hello, Jeanette. Jeanette is Jeanette is a parent on our Navigating Autism platform. I love working with her. Um, I, I think she could say more than anyone else, just about how we make sure that she feels supported and not lonely, and how yes, all the science is important. And we focus on health and we focus on different tests and supplements and prescriptions and retesting and what's changed and what hasn't. And Jeanette, I know the experience of doing one thing, but then just seeing other things really blossom. I really love that aspect when things the children change, and it's in such a beautiful way, and you didn't really have to work hard at that one particular aspect. You're still working hard, but on that one particular aspect. Uh, Good to see you here, Jeanette, definitely. So yeah, I was just talking about open water swimming. That's something that I've gotten into and I'll get into more and more. I just bought new goggles. I got on sale from, all the Thanksgiving stuff. They're custom. They use AI to measure like your face, and they're supposed to really not leak and all this stuff. I have goggles and they like really like I hate the water when it gets into my eye. So I like really press them on my face, and then after I swimming, I have these like I look ridiculous. So my swim coach said he recommended these goggles, and I got them on sale. It was like 50% off. So I'm gonna look very fierce. They're white with silver blue, so you can't even like see in them. I'm a little scared as to how intimidating I'm gonna look, but as long as they keep the water out, that's really all I care about. I've even started doing flip turns. So I feel like, well, I'm becoming like I'm becoming like a swimmer. I used to do flip turns when I was a kid. So but no one taught me how to do it. I would just kind of play around. And so this past week, the pool is empty. It's like 20 degrees outside. So yeah, nobody's like swimming. But I'm pretty determined to go once a week as much as I can. And so I was like, you know what? Just play, try. And so I just stood near the wall and I was like, all right, just do a flip. I did a flip. And it was I don't know how, but I got so much, like, water in my nose, and I just pretty much had to stop because I was choking. But I was like, "Alright, that was kind of fun." And I think I remember as a kid, I used to hold my nose 'cause, I don't really like the water. I mean, this is the funny thing. So then, I did a few more laps, got back to not choking at least, and then did a flip again, but I held my nose, and it worked. So all fun things that you get to do as a parent when autism isn't dominating every aspect of your life and you're not in that crisis mode anymore. So I will definitely mention this more and more. So thank you very much for all the feedback on the poll, and we'll cover better sleep, energy, and stress regulation for sure, and clear framework. So I'll reference the Navigating Autism Matrix more and more, so that you can really think about, okay, what category do I want to focus on, right? Because autism is complex. There's so many things that can be done, so you do want to have that framework, and the Navigating Autism Matrix is something that provides that. So I'll definitely talk about it more and more in 2026. And then feeling less alone and more supported, just come here, interact with me. Maybe I'll have more lives. I'll have to ask and see if that's something that parents will find interesting. I've been on more and more podcasts. So if you want to see me just having conversations with different people, and the hosts, some of them have no idea anything about autism. Some of them are autism parents. Some of them are grandparents whose grandkids have autism or not. Really, I've been talking with quite a few different people. So, whom if any of that interests you, feel free to check out the different podcasts that I have, and I will work on making sure you feel more supported. Definitely, if you want that hands on approach, consider the Navigating Autism platform, because that's the reason why we built it. Yes, it has the information, and you can order functional medicine tests, and you can understand what the results actually mean, and it helps you take action and be organized. You have that framework, but it's also really there so that you feel supported. Um, it's really important for parents to feel like they have people in their corner who understand them and who are rooting for them. And I'm certainly rooting for every single one of you. I want all of you to be doing open water swimming or something that you really hate but also like at the same time, and just have the opportunity to do that, because I'm definitely very blessed to to have navigated through so much, that you have the time to really think about yourself. So, without any questions, I will leave it there, but you have my promise, these 3 things I will focus on more and more in 2026. We'll stay true to the science. So, I think it's really important for parents to have a trustworthy person to go through. Um, for analysis for their science. And that is, I try to do that very specifically with my videos. I'm not giving my opinions. I'm really talking about the science and then teaching you the strategy of, okay, how do I think about if that's relevant for my child, right? Because autism is complex. There's really not going to be one thing that is, absolutely vitally important for every child, except maybe like vitamin D, something like that. That's important for everyone. Magnesium, important for everyone. But it's important for you to know that I don't have a personal stake in any particular way to go about analyzing what the issues are. So some doctors or educators or therapists or teachers, right, they start to say this is what causes autism and this is what most important. And that's not really my approach. My approach is all of these things are important, right? Science tells us, risk of this increases 30%, 60%, right? So we have all this data, but then it's really how do we apply it to your child? So you can certainly trust that I will not be guiding you towards a specific way. My job and really what I see my role as is an educator so that you know what it is that you should be looking at and then making your decision based upon your child. That's really important for me to do and for you to understand that's the responsibility that I'm taking to really have that education piece. And I don't have a preference, right? So I'm not someone who's like, oh, you must detox. Toxins are, the root cause for everything. No, it's not. I've worked with parents in 21 different countries. I've worked with parents the way I in the past worked with parents was I would work one-on-one with them. We would meet once a week and really dive deep into what the issues are. So I have really strong understanding of how you can't just give a blanket statement of detox is important for every child with autism because it's not. It's not. Same with like gut infections. Not every child with autism has a gut infection. They don't. So I just want you to know that I really take that as my responsibility to not have a preference and to make sure I'm not trying to steer you in a particular direction because that's not what is in your best interest or your child's best interest. You have to know what to analyze, how to critically think, and then how to focus on what's important for your child. So I will be doing that more and more in 2026. And I am looking forward to a wonderful year with everybody. So feel free to comment. Feel free to interact with me more and more on the comment sections, ask things, come to these lives, talk to me. I really love that. So have a wonderful, wonderful 2025 year end, holiday season, and everything. And I look forward to hearing more and more from you in 2026. All right. Bye.